2020, and they were expecting more out of this hurricane that's coming.
It's been a strange season for all the U.S.
Yeah, they said that the Hurricane Hunter couldn't fly into the hurricane because it's too strong.
Yeah, it's a Cat 5, so it's probably more than that. Yeah, they can't.
They said mathematically it can only get just incrementally stronger. Yeah. But just can't achieve anything more than what it is.
Yeah. They say what the barometer was on it? How many millibars? Probably get down around 900, I would imagine.
It's 910-ish, I think.
Yeah. I know Katrina was like 915 or 920, something like that.
They said that it's going to probably go down the records as maybe the fourth strongest one ever on record.
Yeah.
Hurricane hunters better stay out of it, hadn't
they?
Even the best of them.
Time
This
now
meeting is being recorded.
This meeting of the Smith County Emergency Services District 2 to order. All notices have been posted. There is a quorum present. Commissioner Dominy, Commissioner Wilson, Commissioner Arnold, myself, and Commissioner Thornton by Zoom. I would ask everyone to silence their phones and devices. And at this time, I'll ask Commissioner Dominy to lead us in a prayer and pledge of allegiance to the Texas and United States and Texas flags.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this beautiful day that you've given to us, Lord. We always appreciate the nice weather and the fall temperatures you bring to us, Lord. We also thank you for the rain over the weekend, much needed rain to help out all of our personnel and to help out the farmers and the people of the region. We needed the rain so much, Lord. Pray that you would be with us this evening as we go through this meeting, Lord, that you would lead us and guide us, that you would be with all those that serve the public, Lord, that you keep them and their families under your loving arms, Lord. We ask all these things in your son's name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right. Recognition of guests and special presentations. I don't think we have any. Item 4, public comment. We have anybody signed up for public comment? Nope. Okay. All right. And we'll move right into item number 5, which will be our consent agenda. Discuss, consider, and take any necessary action related to payment of accounts, bills, invoices, payroll, request for reimbursement, request for other payments, transfer of funds, and amendments. Under 5.1 were emergency purchases. There were none this period. And under 5.2, we have ratification of some bills that they were previously approved, the checks have been cut. We just need to ratify the payment on those checks or those bills. And I would entertain a motion for that.
I'll make the motion under 5.2 ratification that we approve those payments in the amount of $984,616.18.
Have a motion by Commissioner Dominy. We ratify the payment of invoices in the amount of $984,616.18. Do I have a second?
Second.
The second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. 5.3, payment of bills. Looked over them, everything seems to be in order, which is our payroll and things of that nature. Pay for call. So I'd entertain a motion to approve those bills under 5.3.
I make a motion that we approve 5.3 for the amount of $1,020,467.74.
Have a motion by Commissioner Arnold. We pay our bills in the amount of $1,020,467.74. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed,
Aye.
say nay. And that motion carries. 5.4 is district credit card bills. I looked over them, I didn't really find anything out of order unless somebody else did. And I would entertain a motion to pay those bills.
Make a motion under 5.4 that we pay our credit card bills in the amount of $10,662.17.
Motion by Commissioner Dominy, we pay our credit card bills in the amount of $10,662.17. Have a second? Second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. 5.5, contract payments. This will be our Blue Cross Blue Shield and electricity payments for the month. And I entertain a motion to approve those payments.
I'll make the motion, we pay our contract payments in the amount of $34,963.11.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Wilson. We make our contract payments in the amount of $34,963.11. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner Dominy. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. 5.6, urgent purchases. We had one from Stewart and Stevenson, the amount of $2,545.75. And that was for a valve repair on engine 161. And I would entertain a motion to approve that payment.
Make a motion to approve the urgent purchase to Stuart Stevens in the amount of $2,545.75.
I have a motion by Commissioner Dominy to approve the payment of $2,545.75 to Stewart and Stevenson for the valve repair on engine 161. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries.
Aye.
5.7, pre-approved payments made. This is for information only. It's Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Texas and our Verizon bill. And the amounts listed, which falls within the parameters of which we gave them latitude to pay those bills. Okay. Item 6 is approval of the minutes.
There has been a software problem with the vendor of the diligent software, so they have just resolved it. The minutes are ready, but they will be posted at the next meeting.
Okay. Then I would entertain a motion that we table that till the next meeting.
So made.
Okay, a motion by Commissioner Dominy. We table the approval of the minutes of the last month till next month due to hardware issues, software issues. Have a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner Wilson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay.
Aye.
All right, item 7, Executive Director Administrative Financial Report.
So you have the written report. As always, I will do a few highlights. And as you all know, we have been looking for the office support specialist position for a while now. And we have extended an offer, and I believe the person has accepted and will start promptly. In this board meeting, also under a separate agenda item, we are asking for approval to enter into a contract for the strategic planning consulting study. So hopefully we can get that underway and present something to the board as quickly as possible. We also have in this board meeting a new interlocal dispatch agreement that has already been approved by the county and is awaiting approval from this board, hopefully. The financials, the first month in this new fiscal year, the sales tax came in at an increase of 1.2% compared to the same month last year. That doesn't sound like much, but it is actually positive because we had only budgeted a negative 1% decline compared to the previous year, because as you all recall, last fiscal year, we had a lot of sales tax revenue that were of a one-time character. So we budgeted conservatively on the assumption that that one time will not be repeated. So sales tax so far in 1 month is looking good. The previous fiscal year closed out, and you will see the financials later here when Keith reviews that. And if we compare the final result in the budget for last fiscal year with the original budget that was presented, there is an improvement of approximately 3.3 million. We had budgeted a deficit of more than 3 million, and the net actually came in with a surplus of about 300,000. And the bulk of that was revenue, but also expenses came in lower than budgeted. So overall, a very good result in the full fiscal year. And those are the highlights, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Anybody have any questions for me? Okay. All right, we'll move on to 7.2, Investments Portfolio Report for Smith County ESD2, covering the physical quarter ending September 30th, 2025, for board review and information only, no action required.
And as you know, this is presented every quarter, so this is the last quarter of last fiscal year. So it's not only the last quarter, but also the full fiscal year complete. And as you can see, we are well situated with reserves sitting in investments that are solid. So both Mr. Domini as the board treasurer and myself as the executive director has reviewed the numbers and independently confirmed that they are correct.
Any questions on the financial report? No? Sounds good. All right. 7.3, discuss, consider, and take action on the attached $35,000 funding request for the annual safety conference. Conference is scheduled for January 29th, 31st, 2026 at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center in San Antonio. Staff request authorization of a not to exceed amount of $35,000 to cover registration, hotel, per diem, and mileage reimbursements for an estimated 22 participants, the same number as last year. The participant group includes 5 commissioners, 5 district staff, and 12 volunteers.
And I would just add the same limitation as last year as far as the volunteers. It needs to be the chief, the assistant chief, or a board member.
Right.
And maximum 2 people from each volunteer department. Because you don't have to, but that's what we have budgeted.
Right. And it's also to authorize the executive director or his designee to make the necessary commitments to secure hotel rooms and conference registrations in the amount not to exceed $35,000. So that's your pleasure, gentlemen. I entertain a motion on that.
I'll make a motion, we authorize our executive director or designee to make the necessary commitments to secure the hotel rooms and conference registration amount not to exceed $35,000.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Dominy. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. Okay. 7.4, discuss, consider, and take action on volunteer pay-per-call stipend amounts and annual stipend caps.
So basically what we are proposing is that both the pay-per-call for all the various levels that, as far as the certifications are concerned, that they are all increased by 6%, and also the associated annual caps are also increased by 6%. And by doing the 6%, we incorporate the most recent 3% COLA and last year's 3% COLA, and we think this would bring it up equitably with what the paid staff has received over the past couple of years.
All right. I'll entertain a motion on 7.4.
Make a motion to update the volunteer stipend policy effective October 2025, which reflects a 6% increase in volunteer paper call stipends and annual caps.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Arnold, have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay.
Aye.
And that motion carries. All right. 7.5, discuss, consider, and take any action approving the strategic planning consulting services contract with Emergency Services Consulting International, ESCI, in the amount not to exceed $49,925. Authorize the Executive Director to execute the strategic planning consulting services contract with Emergency Services Consulting International in that amount, not to exceed that amount.
Right. So, I mean, we did a full RFQ. We received 3 proposals. We evaluated and concluded that the ESCI is the best choice of those that submitted proposals, and you have the proposal attached, and we are ready to proceed.
And this is a budgeted item, which
Yes,
actually
sir.
comes in a little under what we budgeted for it.
It came in $75 below budget.
Well, $75 is $75. I would entertain a motion on 7.5.
I'll make the motion that we authorize our executive director to execute the strategic planning consulting service contract with Emergency Services Consulting International in an amount not to exceed $49,925.
Commissioner Dominy made the motion to authorize the executive director to execute the strategic planning consulting services contract with Emergency Services Consulting International in an amount not to exceed $49,925. Have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. All right. Item number 8, financial reports. Mr. Keith, you're on.
Thank you, Commissioner. So I wanted to look at the budget versus actual comparison report for October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025. This will be the last report for 2025 for the budget to actual. And it reflects the budget realignment that the board had previously approved. And overall, this really won't change. Our revenues were recorded this year, $26,270,022. Again, that will not change. Our expenses may increase a little. Some of our vendors are really good about invoicing, and some of our vendors are not. And so you have to pursue them and encourage them to submit their invoices for 2025. So we're going to have like a cutoff date. We have to have a date. So probably 11/15, if we haven't received an invoice by that date for 2025, it will just be a 2026 invoice. But we're reaching out to vendors, looking at purchase orders, trying to ensure that anybody we owe money to for 2025 has invoiced us.
Do you have an order of magnitude of how much is outstanding?
Well, we have approximately 100,000 in purchase orders in the operating, but I don't think that's all outstanding. A fair amount of that we're going to carry into the fiscal year. Whether they've done the work or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's not millions.
Oh, no.
It's hundreds of
No,
thousands.
not in the operating account.
Okay,
No.
we're just looking for order of magnitude, so, all right, thank you.
And so, again, it may increase, but not significantly.
Okay.
And then at our next board meeting, I hope to bring a purchase order rollover. We did this last year. Last year, I think we rolled over about $1.7 million of purchase orders into the new fiscal year. The majority of those are always capital projects. It's going to be very similar to this year. We've got about $1.1 million worth of purchase orders. We hope to roll over about 100,000 are operating. The remaining 1 million will be capital projects that will roll it over into the next fiscal year. And as far as the financial reports, I really didn't have anything else to review unless the board wanted to have any questions.
Don't have anything? Thank you, Keith. All right, item 9, annual insurance renewals with VFIS. Discuss and consider and take action on the approval to renew the 2016 commercial policy and workman's compensation policy with VFIS. Excuse me, annual, so, anyway, who's gonna speak on that? You wanna speak on that?
So yeah, just like last year, we renew our annual commercial package about this time of the year, and it's a little greater than what we budgeted, approximately $6,000. So what we have done, though, what we're asking you to do is approve the renewal as it is today. But we have gone back to VFIS and asked them to provide us a quote, and we're really changing how we're potentially going to have insurance coverage. So we've asked them to quote us. Currently, our comprehensive is $5,000 for every vehicle. And it's $5,000 collision, $5,000 comprehensive. So we're going to ask them to provide us a quote, and we're going to increase that to $50,000. And we're only really going to have that coverage on a handful of high-value assets, like fire engines. And depending on the cost savings we could potentially realize, we'll bring that back to the board. And if the board wants to pursue that, then we'll transition to a different coverage model, and then those refunds will come back to us as endorsements. I mean, we would be assuming a lot more risk, obviously, but potentially it could be worth it. We just haven't received. We've asked for the quote. It's going to take a little bit of time. I was hoping to have it by tonight, but I don't. But VFS working with the brokers. Hopefully we'll have that. And again, once we get it, we'll bring it to the board for y'all's review. And if that's something that y'all want to pursue, then that's what we'll do. So, but currently the package as it stands today, just like it was last year, it's at $335,251.
And that's for our vehicle insurance.
Our commercial package, which includes vehicles, boats, corporate,
Yeah.
buildings.
Okay. All right.
I'll make a motion, we approve the fiscal year 2026 commercial insurance renewal and authorize our staff to process those premiums totaling $335,251.
A motion by Commissioner Dominy to authorize the staff to pay the premium invoice totaling $335,251 for our commercial insurance policy renewal. Have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no.
Aye.
Motion carries. 9.2 will be our workers' compensation insurance renewal with Texas Mutual. And we need to approve the fiscal year 2026 workers' compensation insurance renewal and authorize the staff to process a premium invoice totaling $207,687.06.
So,
Go ahead, Keith.
we used to pay workers' comp at one time at the beginning of the year, and we changed that model. That model was a challenge because you paid it out at the beginning of the year, and at the end of the year you had a pretty significant audit, and then potentially you would have a refund or you owed money. So we switched to the quarterly model, which is driven by payroll reports or payroll activity. According to Texas Mutual, we're going to save money, and then we won't have a big surprise at the end of the year. Hopefully, there won't be a big surprise at the end of the year. So this is the first payment, and it's usually 33%. And then the remaining 3 would be the remaining 67% divided by 3.
Make the motion, we approve our workers' compensation insurance renewal and authorize staff to process the premium invoice totaling $207,687.06.
Motion by Commissioner Downey, have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold to approve the workers' compensation renewal and authorize staff to process the premium in the total of $207,687.06. All those, any other question or discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. Item 10, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on approval of a request to allow district staff to pay workers' compensation insurance premium at due dates. And what happens is they usually send this in, and this year they sent it in, and 3 days later they followed it up with a letter saying if we didn't have it paid by the end of October, they would cancel our premium. So we had to call a special meeting and approve it. So this is just to authorize the district staff to go ahead and pay those premiums. Up to a 20% increase as reflected above, which would be somewhere around $122,000 up to not to exceed $146,000. So as long as it falls between 122 and 146, the staff will be allowed to go ahead and make those payments with our prior approval.
Then we will report back.
And report back to us, yeah, for ratification.
I'll just share with you, what I did was I took the previous quarterly payroll, and I knew we added 15 staff. So that was about 11%. And then I just added 9% more as a buffer to come up with 20%.
Okay.
I'll make the motion, we authorize our district staff to pay the ongoing benefit premiums up to $146,400 at the due dates, or report activity as on the consent agenda in the next board meeting.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Domney. Have a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries.
Aye.
All right. Item 11, Director of Human Resources report. Ms. Sherry?
Yes. Before I use my HR report, I'll just point out a few things on it. Our firefighter recruitment, they did complete orientation on October 15th and has been assigned assignments at this time. I am happy to congratulate Adam Hughes, Austin Adams, David Harris, and Jamison Wright on their promotion to driver. And also Christopher Osborne and Stephen Register on their promotion to lieutenant. It's already been mentioned, but I thought I'd mention it again, that we have filled the positions for facilities manager and office support specialist. And hopefully they will be starting within 1 to 2 weeks, excuse me. And then if you have any other questions, that's all I wanted to point out, unless you have something. No?
And 11.2 is discuss and consider and take any necessary action on revisiting the random drug testing policy.
Yes, before you is the random drug and alcohol testing policy, or I should say random drug and testing policy. What I'm proposing is that we add alcohol to that. If you'll look at the policy in yellow is what I've added to the policy, and then some of that is just clarification on the wording to make everything clear. But it is something that we're currently doing, and so I just wanted us to get it actually in the policy itself.
So it's not a new practice, just update the policy to reflect what we're actually doing.
Yeah.
Correct,
Yeah.
yes. So I'm asking you to approve that.
I'll entertain a motion on that.
Okay. I'll make the motion that we adopt the revised random drug and alcohol testing policy.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Dominic to adopt the revised random drug testing policy to include alcohol testing. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion?
I do have a question.
Okay.
It was discussed changing from the current test on drugs to do hair follicles. Are we still going forward with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And I just want everybody out there to be aware, number one, that is a change. And also, from my understanding, the alcohol test on the volunteers, it's not going to affect you on the weekends, guys, okay? This is if you're on duty or on call. It's not going to be just random.
If you're rostered.
give your roster.
Yeah, the policy says that we're voting on, says volunteers will not be subject to alcohol testing if they're not on duty at the time of the random selection.
I just want y'all to be aware of that.
Okay. All right. Is there any other question or discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. All right, 11.3. Discuss, consider, or take any necessary action on revising the background check and drug screening policy and procedure, which I think that's something we talked about.
Yes. So before you use the background check and drug screening policy that we currently have, I'm proposing that we add an annual criminal history and motor vehicle record review, and this would be done at the time of the annual account renewals. This would include paid and volunteer staff. So I'm asking that you approve that change. And again, highlighted in yellow is what has been changed or added.
I'll entertain a motion on 11.3.
I recommend the board adopt this revision to ensure better safety and security and regulatory standards.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Arnold for the board to adopt the revision to ensure better safety, security, and regulatory standards. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. 11.4, workforce injuries report.
Okay. Before you, you have my report. If you have any questions for me on that, I'd be happy to answer.
Okay. All right. That's all we need on that one. Item 12, discuss and consider taking any action regarding reimbursement to Chapel Hill Volunteer Fire Department for $568.89 in travel and hotel expenses associated with training and event previously declined by district staff. And I noticed it says on here this was requested by me, and which it was, because being president of the board and setting the agenda, somebody else asked me to have it put on there, so I did. So anyway, what this boils down to is, I'll just let Chief Peterson speak to that. Dale, if you don't mind, tell us what you put in for.
We had two of our members that was trying to find a class for heavy education. It's hard to find that course around. So we found one. So Todd filled out the proper paperwork and sent it in. It's dated back on July the 28th. And then we got a reply back on the 29th from Chief Clinton saying that they didn't have any money for us to go to that class. So we decided that we couldn't give up the class because it was hard to find that class, so we went ahead and went to the class and paid for it ourselves. We did change a little bit on that money. That was going to be a hotel, because about an hour, 15-hour, 20-minute drive there and back every day. So we went ahead and decided to drive back and forth every day. So we didn't do a hotel, but we did lose the meal itself. And it was a 2.5-day class. And so that's what we were just trying to get some of our money back for the food anyways.
So all you asked for was to be reimbursed for rooms and meals.
To start with, yeah.
Who paid for the class?
We paid it through a grant. The class's grant was $420 for each person, so it was $840, and that was covered by the grant. So that was no money there on that part of it, until we got it back from the Forest Service. So basically all we were out of this at that time was the meals, but we were trying to keep them driving back and forth, so it was getting up early and everything, and get back late. That's what we were trying to do.
We brought this to everybody's attention, and because number one, training is important on the paid and volunteer side. And if it's acceptable, I would like to challenge our staff. Let's make sure that our volunteers have as equal opportunity to train as our paid staff. And then if there's ever an instance where we run out of money in training staff, in my opinion, that's what that contingency fund's for. Now, I may have some pushback from some other people, but I'd rather make sure our staff, paid and volunteer, is very well trained and take advantage of every opportunity we can. I know there's gonna be some limitations, but I really want us to focus on training on all levels.
So what type of class is this?
It's a heavy rescue
It's a-
type of.
It's heavy rescue.
It's
I mean,
bigger, like dump trucks, school buses, 18-wheelers. It's more than just automobile cars. You have to have that class first to start with before you can allow them to go to the bigger vehicles. And so basically, it gets the bigger vehicle where you gotta know, especially school buses, you can only cut in certain places on a school bus. So it shows how to get in to get kids out a lot easier. And plus, the 18-wheelers, they're a little bit different than small cars. So where you have to stabilize it and do every kind of stuff like that with it. So it's a lot more involved than just cars. And they don't give that, the class is hard to get. They say they do it teach, but it's very seldom you catch one that teach. And that costs more going down to teach, and this here one quite as high.
Well, since they didn't spend the night, we can't reimburse them for their hotel, but I do feel like we could at least reimburse them for their meals for 2 days.
So, and I guess that was something else that we as the board need to make sure, I mean, I'm one, probably as guilty as anybody of making sure we're sticking to the budget, right?
Right?
Everything is gonna be, we're driven by what is our commitment, our budgets, and we make decisions based off of that a lot of times, and I don't wanna send the wrong message at the same time too, that we're gonna be over stringent in how we apply that to, if we need to take advantage of some of these, so I think that may be part of the issue that we have here is we've mandated out of our staff maintain budget, so I'm not gonna find fault at them for exercising what the rules and regulations say. Everybody's limited, but, you know, this is,
And I don't either, but I would like for them to come to us when we run out of money in that and tell us, so we know and we don't have a situation like this come up.
I'm kind of the opinion you don't need to come to me to make that, I mean, that's just a decent decision to make, so anyway. But it's, I mean, my assumption is that you put this before us because it's more of a principle than it is really money, right? We're not really talking about $528.
We found out too as well, there was another person that you guys paid for his training. Actually in logistics and didn't go to, not on the truck like we are outside doing the work. I didn't think that was fair when he got paid, but we couldn't.
Not the same line. We're talking about something entirely different.
Okay.
This is travel and lodging, this is not the training expense. So the training expenses is what we're talking about here, we're talking about the training and lodging.
And that's,
And that
that
much
all
was
ties
stretched.
in together, and we just want y'all to be aware, at least I do, and I think everybody else might agree, that if we come up on something like this, even with the paid staff here, we've got some critical training, come to us and talk to us, and let's try to work this out. Even if we got to touch a little bit here, or rob Peter, pay Paul, I'd
I
rather
can't
do
tell you,
that.
like the Huggy was saying, like that's absolutely mission critical for us getting better. So nobody ever wants to turn down training. Certainly not mine.
Well, we got the training, so.
Yeah, I think I'm of the opinion that the administration staff had declined it, and not saying no, but we would have it next time. Or this fiscal year. It's not the money that bothers me, it's proceeding without approval.
Well, I just felt like this is a discussion we need to have, and it needs to be in an open session and talk about it.
I wanted everybody to have input on it. I mean, I want the volunteers to understand there are things that you will be denied there is some training out there that I don't think we're ever gonna need. Cold weather training, I sensitive to it, but I don't think we need to plan for a snowstorm that happens once every 20, 30 years. You need to be ready for them, but I don't think we need to train it in depth for them.
And Commissioner Thornton makes the point, though, that, it was declined, and the district made the decision to proceed with the training themselves, which is, okay, I mean, we don't have any, department, yes.
Yeah.
So we don't, I mean, that's the decision the department made, right?
Right.
So, and, I'm a bit supportive about that as well, too, is that you don't ask permission, and when denied, proceed, and then have the expectation we're still gonna reimburse. That's setting a different expectation that I don't support. So, I mean, it's kind of a touchy subject overall, and, I think we all just should move away from it with some good lessons learned on how to address it the next time, should it occur.
Commissioners, if I may, one way to address that is we get later in the budget cycle, and we are forecasting or seeing that those accounts are stretched, we could consider a budget amendment or your approval to transfer some funds elsewhere. So I think there's no problem with us staying in overall budget, but that budget could get stretched. In this case, this individual had been approved for lots of training, and so it wasn't a fact that we were just willy-nilly denying training. So, point well taken.
Still discussion.
Everybody be on the same page, that way we don't have any confusion.
Yep. We'll come back before you.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you, Dave.
Alright. If there's nothing else, we'll move on to 13, I guess.
Could get a formal decision though, so we can reimburse them.
It didn't request it, did it? I thought it was just for discussion.
It says discuss, consider, and take the necessary action.
Okay. I don't know.
Well, we're not gonna pay the hotel expenses because it didn't stay. Like I said, the only thing we could pay them would be their per diem for 2 meals for 2 days.
And the travel.
But it's not.
Well, did you go in your vehicle?
Yeah, we went to
And so there should be no mileage reimbursement, it'd just be the 2 per diem for a couple of meals. Friday, Saturday and Sunday, is that right? 1 meal each?
we went Friday night and Saturday and Sunday.
Okay,
For one person,
2 people.
2 people.
I'm gonna recommend that we don't take any action on it. That there's and like I said, I think there's lessons learned on both sides. That we need to address our training funds when appropriate. But at the same time, I don't feel like I would need to reward somebody for going against the instructions that we're given. That's my opinion.
Put that in form of motion. Or
I guess, do I need to take it in the motion?
You ordinarily not take a negative motion to not do something.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Anybody else?
I'll make a motion to pay for the meals and only the meals.
So we have a motion, to pay for the meals, nothing else. Anybody make a second? Anybody make a second? Okay, dies for lack of a motion, so we'll just move forward. Thank you. All right. So now we all know what we need to do. All right, Community Outreach Coordinators Report.
Good evening. Okay, the last several weeks have been very purposeful, but there have been a lot of moving parts, so forgive me if you were trying to make it through my board report because I know there was a lot going on. I want to start out by publicly acknowledging and thanking a few of our neighboring fire departments. A lot of you know that we had a loss that one of our officers suffered. We escorted their family back from Dallas, and in addition to doing that, Lindale, Gladewater, and West Mountain participated in that escort, so I just want to make sure that we thank them for the respect that they showed our team. So we are very appreciative of that because that was a tough situation. In the last several weeks, we have had several things going on. We have had new hire orientation. We have had deployments going on. We walked into Fire Prevention Month, and we walked into a new smoke detector initiative with the American Red Cross and the Fire Marshal's Office. So we've stayed busy with our local media talking about all of these things. So a couple things just to give some clarity on those. You know that we were not under a burn ban despite the severe weather that we had as far as the lack of rain. So one of the things that we were trying to discuss with our residents was we're encouraging you not to burn. There's nothing that says that you can't burn, but also here are the items you shouldn't burn should you choose to burn. So there was a lot of pieces to navigate through that. We also had, with the smoke detector initiative, this is if we're on scene, if we're called out for an emergency scene, we're going to check the smoke detectors, make sure that your residence has all of the required smoke detectors that it should have, but also it doesn't require an emergency. If you need someone to come check your smoke detectors, feel free to give us a call. We're going to make sure that's going on. And we've already seen the firemen out there working, and our firefighters working with our fire marshal's office making that happen. So I think that's going over smoothly. We've had some rain, so that's been good. We are still continuing some of our fire prevention, also not necessarily HOA meetings, but meeting with new churches to kind of talk about cold weather, those things that need to be taking place. Everyone has been at high school football. Chief DeGentz has sent me events out in Bullard. That team in and of itself stays busy in Bullard. When I sent out a calendar at the beginning of October, we had initially more than 30 PR events going on for the month of October, and I told everyone on the team, this is what's listed, and I anticipate things coming in, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened. So in addition to the more than 800 calls that they ran this last month, that they've consistently run the last several months, they took on several PR events out in the community at Tiger Creek, at Brook Hill, St. Mary Magdalene's, churches, homeschool groups. It has been a lot. So they have really spent a lot of time with our residents. So just amazing job, everyone. They've done phenomenal. And we've got to order more hats and stickers for our little kids. And then in addition to that, just a great shout out to our team that taught, especially during new hire orientation. Because for me as a taxpayer, I get to say, man, these guys are just so impressive. But also as someone who gets to promote the department, I don't know if you saw Captain Trotty's video talking about patient care being the priority during the extrication class. But that video alone, just within a day or two, had more than 165,000 views, was picked up by SFFMA. So just proud to be a part of a team that we have that kind of experience and knowledge to be able to share that out with the community. So just very, very thankful for that. And then, of course, the website, we moved into training, so I got to do all of those things, and I'm very excited to see how that looks and what's coming along with that, and just the opportunities that we're going to get to have with that. And I talked to Mr. Locke about being able to utilize our YouTube channel for certain trainings like CPR and other items. So I'm excited to see where that's going.
Item 14, Assistant Executive Director's Report. Larry?
Good evening. We've been pretty busy. We have finally got to full staff again at Fleet Maintenance. We did hire a Fleet Maintenance preventative maintenance technician, so we're back up to full staff at this point. We're seeing significant improvements there, and Brush 136 upfitting is still underway. Captain 2, the radios are installed, and we should be moving into upfitting on that here pretty quickly. In facilities maintenance, we've had some challenges. Our facilities technician has been out on some sick leave, as well as a loss in the family. He is back with us now and trying to get caught back up on work orders. As you're aware, we've been also looking for a facilities manager. We did extend a job offer. That offer has been accepted, and we're waiting on the background and drug test to complete. We look forward to bringing that person on. In logistics, we're still short a logistics manager, and we are working through several ongoing issues, one of those still being boots. We've managed to receive a few in. We have also placed orders with other vendors and other manufacturers to try to address those. Some odd sizes, such as men's 8.5 extra wide, where you get into those triple weird sizes, are still being difficult to fill. So we are still looking for other opportunities there. Within IT, we've changed the way that radios are being assigned to paid staff working alongside operations. Now that there is 24/7 staff in the standard stations, and we can do actual pass down of radios. We've reassigned, so instead of every individual staff member having radios, only captains up have individual assigned radios, and then those radios are assigned to seats. So there's a better accountability now that we have 24/7 coverage in those stations all the time, and we're not leaving them out just sitting around on the weekends. So that change has happened, and Chief's going to talk a little bit about the CAD project. We've made some significant strides in that area, and other than that, I don't have anything unless y'all have any questions.
On the fleet report,
Yes, sir.
your data date goes through February of 25.
Which date? I'm sorry.
The fleet drive time by month and apparatus.
I am having issues still that we have not worked through with our analytics provider that's not being able to pull that data in from Samsara. So that is still on our list. I just hadn't had time to try to address that.
And user risk score went just out the roof.
User risk score, I thought I had that addressed in my written report. The reason for that is the new personnel that we've put on. Once they actually go through all of the onboarding training, you'll start to see that number decline over time. Also, anytime we do promotions, you also see that risk score spike. So
That's just huge.
it is. It's the number of people we put on at one time. We put on an additional 15 or 16 people at once, and so their risk scores are up at the top when they come in. So we should start to see those.
You wouldn't expect somebody that's already on staff with us that gets a promotion to be that much different.
Not the promotions, but the new staff members. So the
Yeah,
15 brings it up quite a bit by itself. And then anytime you have a promotion and they get put into a new group, it brings it up because they have access to additional resources. So you should see that come back down drastically again after they do their training. That is what we're seeing.
Okay, I'll watch it. Hopefully I'll see it back down into the low 30s.
Yeah, I'm hoping we should. That's the only change. We went in and looked at that too, and it's really because of the new users mainly. Once they attend their required trainings, that will come down. The only other thing that I have is in relation to Jamestown. There's actually been a development today that didn't make it on the report. The house will be moved from Fleet tomorrow. So the dirt work is pretty much done. They're going to have some touch-ups after we move the house in. And before they can finish up on the foundations, they're still waiting, or the forming, they're still waiting to get one geotech report done for compaction. But we're going to go ahead and get the house moved in. Should be moving tomorrow.
All right. Item 14.2, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on approving the budgeted email system migration at an expected cost of $95,000. Allow staff to move forward with the new budgeted subscription through CDW at that cost.
Commissioners, this is a little under budget, and we did have conversations about this during the budget process. This is mainly because Microsoft has gotten away from doing on-premise services that you can purchase as a perpetual model, and they've gone to subscription model. And so because of that, it does make more sense for us to move to the cloud.
I'll make a motion that we allow staff to move forward with the new budget subscription through CDW at the cost of $95,000.
I have a motion by Commissioner Dominy to allow the staff to move forward with the new budgeted subscription through CDW for the email system at a cost of $95,000. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. 14.3, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on approving the budgeted district workstation replacement at an expected cost of $89,000. Allow staff to move forward with purchase of equipment from selected vendor at that cost.
Commissioners, this is another budgeted item. It is under budget, and the primary reason for this is Microsoft is no longer supporting Windows 10, and so we have to move to Windows 11.
I'll make a motion we allow staff to move forward with the purchase of equipment from the selected vendor at an expected cost of $89,000.
A motion by Commissioner Dominy to allow the staff to move forward with the purchase of equipment from the selected vendor at an expected cost of $89,000. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any
Aye.
opposed, say nay, and that motion carries unanimously. 14.4, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on approving the requested fleet maintenance software at an initial cost not to exceed $10,942.63. Authorize staff to move to purchase the software and hardware from selected vendor at that cost with an expected future annual cost of $9,223.
Commissioners, this is 2 or 3 pieces of software that's really needed to better diagnose the trucks that we have, especially with some of the newer transmissions that we're getting and newer engines that we haven't been purchasing in the past. Right now, we're having to outsource a lot of that. That takes a lot of time away. It also allows us to better confirm repairs that are made. This also gives us book time information on repairs that need to be made so we can better monitor our service level commitments. It is line item budgeted, and it's $180 over the actual anticipated line item budget. But it's still within the overall IT subscriptions budget.
This is not a request to authorize the future annual cost, right?
That's
just
correct.
information on it.
That's correct.
Okay.
It's just for information only.
I'll make the motion, we authorize staff to purchase software and hardware from the selected vendor at a cost of $10,940.63.
We have a motion by Commissioner Dominy, authorize staff to purchase software and hardware from selected vendors at a cost of $10,942.63. Have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. 14.5, discuss and take any necessary action on approving the yearly subscriptions and technology providers at a cost of $674,848.37. Allow staff to move forward with the subscription and providers as presented at that cost.
Commissioners, this is our yearly renewal of pretty much all of our softwares. They're all line item identified for those that require funding authorization within the financial impact statement in the agenda summary. This includes things like our radio network subscription at about $100,000 a year, tower leases where we have our VHF tower, as well as our management systems, OpenGov for our financial systems, all our cybersecurity training, operations training. This is a comprehensive list of all of our services, including our internet, TV, and telephone systems, as well as dash cam systems. It is all within budget.
Make a motion to allow the staff to move forward with subscriptions and providers as presented at a cost of $674,848.37.
Have a motion by Commissioner Arnold to move forward with the subscription and providers as presented at a cost of $674,000. Well, as soon as I get this over, $848.37. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilson. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. Item 15, Chief Operations Report.
Good evening, Commissioners. You have my report. Just a couple of things I'd like to highlight. Larry was mentioning the CAD project and where that's going. Some exciting news with that. We've got the first version of the CAD live on our server and up and running, even in the command platform trailer. So we're excited about where that's going. Some of the installs are beginning. We just delivered the 2 trucks for the battalions down to Houston, and they'll get full turnkey installs in terms of all the CAD project hardware will go fully installed by the time they return. So we anticipate those trucks, maybe another 90 days out, and we should be able to see those in about 3 months out. CAD, though, a lot of things that the server data migration that they're doing to a virtual cloud server for the county, that will allow their capacity to bring on the fire module. So they're working diligently. Lots of things that are happening within the CAD, including the paging software and how that's happening. So we're excited to see where that goes over the next several months here, with a target still for the first of the year is where all the stakeholders are working towards. Significant progress on the drill field. All of our supplies came in that we were able to purchase in the 25 budget. Installation is ongoing with the interior stairs. The burn labs are going in. We've already been able to do an initial burn out of it, and it's just fabulous what it will accomplish. So we're very thankful to have that capacity now on site and working to get fully completed on all of that. As you know, in this year's budget, we included an outdoor classroom, and we've got some ideas on how to bring that forward in the next month or so. And really just continuing that project of increasing our capacity to deliver great outcome training right there on site. So thank you for your support with that.
Chief, would you consider looking at, and I call it an open house or something to?
I'd love to. Love to. Absolutely. Love to have you up and really open that up to everybody related to the district and show you the capacities that we have in action. Commissioners, we continue with our project of assignments to our staff companies. We accomplished 38 walkthroughs and 84 hydrants. We made a little bit of a shift, really focusing on those targets of occupancies that have high volume. And so we wanted to make sure that things like stadiums, things like gymnasiums, schools, so that we're really focusing in on some of those to make sure that we're more prepared for any incident of any type that could occur in those type of facilities. Additionally, today, Tactical Tender 146 was relocated down to Troop and is ready to go in service. So we're ready to announce a push-in, maybe even necessary to do that one rather quickly. So we may see some announcements come out this week to do that kind of on the fly, if you will. So feel invited. We may have to monitor that because we may not have a full notice of gathering, but I'd certainly like to see a couple of you attend if possible, and we just have some needs to get that placed in service. We have sworn in all 15 of our recruit class number 9. All of them have been placed on shift assignments, and all of them are working now. So we're excited to have that piece. We definitely had our challenges as we went through this process, a lot of lessons learned, and I'll be able to reveal those to you in due time. We have hired back 2 firefighters that left us for a period for various reasons, for family matters and things of that nature, and they were able to reestablish on good terms. They're leaving and coming back, so they're already back on, or one of them's already back on shift, and the other one's forthcoming in a few days. Quite a bit of training things, including the things that Sherry has already talked about, including the promotion processes that the training office worked on. Those driver promotions, lieutenant promotions, those are in place. And commissioners, we need more. We need more in terms of slots that have firefighters hired for them, but the promotions aren't in place. And so we've got some significant gaps that we're still going to be working on trying to fill those promoted seats. Great cooperation going on with TFS and some of the classes that we've been offering. You might have seen some of those postings up at Red Springs 21 House. We've been in collaboration with TFS in delivering the portable pumps class, and we got a wildline engine ops class that's coming up first of next month. You have my participation summaries in front of you, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Volunteers getting invited to any of those Texas Forest Service classes?
All those are announced by TFS, and they're all publicized heavily.
Okay.
Matt Burnett sends those out regularly, and all of those go out widely. So, yes, sir.
Might not hurt if you put it out too, that way, getting it double covered, just in case.
Yeah, I've seen lots. Matt Burnett has reached out several times over and over, and actually a couple of open seats that he's reached back out for.
And looking through all the reports that came through from different, districts is the, want to recognize Chapel Hill for exceptional job in filling that information out, provided to us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Todd Moore does a great job of making sure we get that through Chief Peterson, so we appreciate that cooperation for sure.
So the black on green is still hard to read.
Yes, sir, and I'm working on it. I am working, I promise.
Thank you.
All right.
I brought my glasses tonight, though, so it's better.
15.2, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on adoption of the interlocal agreement with Smith County for dispatch services. Adopt the interlocal agreement as presented and authorize Chief Reader to sign any relevant documents.
Yeah, Commissioners, not a whole lot of substance to talk about in terms of change related to that interlocal agreement. Really just a perpetuation, but this was time to renew the agreement. It's substantially the same amount. I think we're off by about $1,000 in this based on what we actually put in the budget. But that was what we were thinking that it was going, and it actually went back and reverted to the old number. That's what was included from the county. So we're talking about 141,000 and some change there. Yes, sir.
I just would like to add, I've never seen so much legal time spent on a simple agreement like this that didn't change anything. And it went back to the day, not legal code.
Well, you know,
It was.
a variety of
I make a motion to adopt the interlocal agreement as presented and authorize Chief Reader to sign any relevant documentation in the amount of $141,798.91.
Have a motion by Commissioner Dominic, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. And that motion carries. 15.2, discuss, well, this thing will quit moving around. Oh, 15.3, I'm sorry. Discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on purchase of Marine 151 replacement. Approve the purchase of North River boat from Citizens Martin through HGAC in the amount of $312,231 and allow Chief Reader to sign all related documents.
Commissioners, as you recall, we had quite a bit of discussion about the Marine and this project during the budget workshops and made some decisions there on how to move forward with our improvements. This does give us additional capacity to be able to deliver services on both lakes in a consistent way. It is 4% over what we arrived at in our budget workshop at $312,231. That does include all of the electronics. It is a turnkey package, and that is as a fabulous boat, just like the one that we have. So we're excited about that.
What's the driver on the increase over what we initially had?
I think it's a couple of things. It's slightly longer, 1 foot, and it does have a canopy extension off of the back for shade to view the electronics off the back side of the canopy. So not a whole lot of change. They actually increased that freedom line from a 23 to a 24 foot, and it has a side dive door that's included in the where you can come off the side rather than just off the rear.
So we didn't have a choice on the 1 foot longer, that's just their standard.
That's right. That's where they went with this platform.
And is the extension the same, or was that an item that we did?
We did that. We did add that. Yes.
I make a motion to approve the purchase of North River boat from Citizens Martin through HGAC in the amount of $312,231.00 and allow Chief Reader to sign all related documents.
Motion by Commissioner Arnold to approve the purchase of the North River boat from Citizens Martin for HGAC in the amount of $312,231 and allow Chief Reader to sign all related documentations. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. 15.4, discuss and consider and take any necessary action on purchase of tactical tender 121. Approve the purchase of a BME tactical tender from Citizens Martin through HGAC for $610,812 and authorize Chief Cruiser to execute all related documents. Additionally, approve an amount not to exceed $64,000 for the purchase of tools, equipment, and radios for a total project cost not to exceed capital apparatus budget amount of $675,000 for this specific project.
Yeah, Commissioners, what you have in front of you is an opportunity to acquire a chassis for a May of next year build. As you know, there's with the 2604 funding that's just come out throughout the state of Texas, and the volume of trucks that are approved in those grant funds, chassis are going to become very difficult to come by. And so we were able to work directly with the factory to obtain a build slot for May of next year, which is a fabulous turnaround time in today's market. That also was contingent on holding the price for the current year pricing rather than moving into next year pricing. So there's a price change that's occurring right now. This one is able to hold last year pricing. So what we presented to you was really the chassis needing to get approved quickly, but we've also included that not to exceed amount, not necessarily preferred by you, without all of the tools and equipment fully vetted in terms of a evaluation.
So are you asking for the full 675 or just the 610 to purchase the tactical tender at this time?
I'd like to go with the whole thing and be able to work within the evaluations of the best pricing to match the same equipment that we put on the one that's just going in service.
And so that 675 comes within the budget?
It's exactly as budgeted.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase of the BME tactical tender from Citizens Martin through HGAC for $610,812 and authorize Chief Cruiser to execute all related documents. The total estimated project cost would not exceed $675,000, which is inclusive of $64,000 for the purchase of tools, equipment, and radios.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Dominy to approve the purchase of the BME tactical tender from Citizens Martin through HGAC for $610,812 and authorize Chief Cruiser to execute all related documents, and additionally approve the $64,000 for the purchase of tools, equipment, and radios not to exceed the capital apparatus budgeted amount of $675,000. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay.
Aye.
And that motion carries. 15.5, discuss and consider and take any necessary action on annual Texas Commission on Fire Protection renewal, TCFP certified personnel, and approve renewal in the amount of $8,280.
Commissioners, this is the standard renewal for Texas Commission on Fire Protection. This is due by the end of the month, and kind of we get into those timelines, just like subscriptions, to where this renewal needs a check to be signed even tonight, so that we can overnight.
And this includes all our TCFP people?
That's correct.
Paid and volunteer?
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Make the motion we approve the renewal of TCFP certification in the amount of $8,280.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Dominy, approve the renewal of the TCFP certification in the amount of $8,280. Have a second? Second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. 16, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on fire chiefs presenting, discussing issues with the board for future actions. All right, Art.
Good evening, Commissioners. It's been another busy month at ARP. Our runs have been staying low. We're happy to see that. As far as personnel, at the beginning of this month, we promoted a new assistant chief and training officer.
He has an EMS background. He's already been doing some in-house EMS training for us. I think he's going to work out pretty well for us. We just onboarded one new member just a few days ago. He already works in the EMS world, works for Christus EMS. He just finished his fire cert 3 or 4 weeks ago, so glad to have a new certified member. We have one that's in EMT school right now, one that's in Wildland, and then one that's going to start EMT in November. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Don't have any? Anybody else? Thank you, sir.
All right.
Bullard, Chief DeGance.
Good evening, Commissioners, ladies, gentlemen. On the TCFP Commission, I heard a question be asked about volunteers. So did that include or did it not include?
It did.
It did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll have to get with you because we've double paid then. Good evening, sorry, just wanted to make a clarification there. Last month we saw 3 of our members transition to be full-time Smith County ESD employees. As I've stated before, that is our mission. That's the ultimate outcome is to have these young men and women that come and volunteer with us to transition into a career. We're glad to see them staying in the county and providing some payback of the benefits that they've received of the training that you guys have already paid for. Nikki, I apologize for the people of Bullard. They lean on us heavily for education, and unfortunately, they call us at very odd hours. So thank you for working with us. I've been trying to get your name out there and telling them, hey, 4 weeks at lead time would be great. So I have to apologize to you for those last minute. They call me, I call you, and we try to work it out. So I apologize, ma'am. We're going to try to do better. Gentlemen, thank you for the Station 57 refresh. I was down there today. The recliners are all unboxed. The new lights are in. We're sealed up. We put out a memo to our volunteers. We're going to get a work day down there, get us all moved back in so that we can start providing staffing services out of 57s on that west side. I very much appreciate it. I know there's been a lot of work that's happened in the last 30 days, and it has not gone unnoticed. As a spokesperson for the volunteer chiefs, we're engaged in some negotiations on the service provider contract. We've had one-on-one discussions. We're proceeding on that. Hopefully, before we get to January, we have a document that you're going to be able to review and get your input on. Our numbers. So I know Commissioner Dominy, you look at our numbers. You're going to see us going down right now. We've got several people that have gone out the door and onto their careers. We've had a recruitment that has resulted in 2 people. One has an EMT background. The other one is going to be a start from scratch, build them from nothing. I did have a discussion with some instructors from TJC today. We're looking to bring in a couple, just like we did last year from TJC, maybe midterm. We were able to offer through the State Firefighter and Fire Marshals Association some reimbursement because they hadn't started their hazmat classes. So we're trying to recruit some more people in, bring them into the program. It ebbs and flows every single year. It's a great thing. If you have any questions for me.
Yeah, you did address my question was, you've gone from 13 to 11, and you explained it that through the transition, which is understandable, and we all appreciate it. So, thanks for.
Wanted to bring it up before I knew it was going to be a topic. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chief.
Commissioners, if I could go back, I've got some clarification from Chief Smith. The volunteers for the district are covered in what you've just approved, but the volunteer TCFPs are covered in an invoice when they invoice the district for reimbursement.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chapel Hill, Chief Peterson.
We've been busy pretty good. Like I say, we do a lot of training as well. First of all, we got I got 3 members now is in doing a class at large animal training up there in Cowboy Church on 2015. And then they'll be there. It was today and next 2 more days to be doing a class on large animal rescue. Also have one of my officers completed his Instructor 3 class through TCFP, and he also has been talking with Kilgore College about trying to help them teach at their college too as well. We also lost a member to the ESD as well, so we've trained them to come over the other side as well as they have. I've been sending quite a few over that way. Also got 1 new member that just sent, be probably sending his application in here probably the end of the week. For him getting started, he's already started some of his online classes already before he even got the applications in. So he's wanting to go. And also got one that's trying to finish up his online classes to where he gets to his support certification. So I got 2 of them going in. Then also I got 1 new member that's in. He just finished his wildland online training. Now he just got to get his field training, and he'll have his wildland certification. Then also we put on a CPR class this last weekend. We had, I think Todd said there was 5 people in it. They were mostly from Chapel Hill and Flint, and they all passed that there. And he's going to try to have another class before the end of the year on CPR. So if anybody in the volunteer needs CPR, we're going to have another class. Then also we did do, I had a school, I forgot to get you on that, I need a story about that, but we got a KISM. They had a dyslexia kids night for us at Halloween at their school. So we went down there to help with the kids in that part of the school as well. In fact, we got one coming up for the high school in next week. I'll give you that one. That's going to be career day for the high school next month as well. And that's pretty much what I have.
So your CPR class is open to the public?
Yeah, I think, yes. I mean, it's either way, yes, it's open if they want to, yes. I'll get with Todd, but I'm pretty sure we have no problem with having other people come in.
Let me know, I need a refresh.
Okay, I'll tell Todd we'll send it out to where if you need one. Okay? Sure will.
Thank you, Chief. Flint Grisham, anybody here from Flint? There he is. Chief Raff.
Commissioners, I lost my notes, hang on a second. Okay. Chief Peterson just mentioned the CPR class. We had 4 people there. 3 of them were renewals, 1 of them was brand new. That brand new person, that was the last piece that he needed to get his support certification, so he now has his support certification. He was a new member for us. He has also completed all of his online portion of the wildland training. I believe that we're going to have a countywide VFD Association training on the 8th of November, where we're going to go through wildland skills. That should complete him on that, so he'll become a full wildland certified firefighter at that point as well. Captain Ferguson, our department, he passed the ropes awareness and operations TCFP exam, so he now has that brand new TCFP certification. And not related to us, but he did just get a promotion at Tyler, so we're very pleased with him. He promoted from firefighter up to engineer with the city of Tyler. It wasn't mentioned before, but Flint Gresham, we did assist in the air show at Pounds Field earlier this month. We staffed a UTV to cover the parking lot areas of that air show. Speaking of grants, we did get one of the tender grants for $300,000 and a skid unit grant for $45,000. So we'll be working with the ESD. I don't know how you all want to manage that as far as putting it on board agendas. We'll discuss more, but at some point we'll work and figure out how we're going to order a new tender for us and replace a skid unit somewhere. I wanted to mention just kind of a shout out to the support services side. You know, we have trucks that have issues, we have IT issues, we have logistics issues. I have never in the 8 years that I've been here seen as fast of a response as we have on apparatus work orders as we do right now. Like I put a ticket in and in a couple of days the issue is resolved or they pick up the truck and they're working on it. It's very, very fast. To the point almost where we're a little bit afraid to put tickets in right now because we know if we put in a ticket for a burned out light bulb, the truck's going to go out of service for 2 days because they're going to go fix it like immediately. So kind of a good problem to have, but good nonetheless. We did have a missing person call a few nights ago. There were 2 missing children in Flint Gresham. One call out that I want to make with this that I was very happy about, we got dispatched at the same time that Sheriff's Office got dispatched. So when I arrived on scene, SO had just arrived on scene as well. It gave us the opportunity to be part of the interview process with the family members to get good information about where the missing persons may be, last known description, all the kinds of things that we know from a search and rescue side that SO may not have the experience with that we do. So that was excellent, and we were able to start moving resources into position and spin up GSAR and things like that a whole lot faster than we previously have been able to. So I was very, very happy that SO dispatched us that quickly. One thing that Chief Duraso and I talked about on that scene is kind of the need for a run book for missing persons calls. It's not often that we get them. They're very complicated. You're dealing with a whole lot of different agencies coming together. So I'm going to start working on kind of a run book from that perspective so that we can have a checklist, if you will, so that we make sure that we address everything that we need to, rather than thinking about it halfway through the incident going, oh, we should call game wardens, or oh, we should call the fire marshal's office, things like that. Beyond that, I don't really have any other updates unless there are questions. Okay.
White House.
Good evening. Like Chief Peterson said, myself and Dwayne were in the large animal rescue class today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. It's very interesting, a very good class over there with Teeks. We had one that completed the Swiftwater class. We still have one that's in the firefighter class at TJC, one that's in EMT class. We also had 4 that started onboarding, I think, last month, but we have 3 of them. 2 that are completed, and the other ones are 90% done. They're waiting on like the driver's training, just things that we have to get on that are actually in person. They've done all their online training, so we're making progress there. Let's see. We have one member that actually passes on the written test for his firefighter 1 and hazmat A&O. So we're getting ready to get his skills done, so he'll be actually fully certified to assist. Other than that, I mean, that's about it. Unless y'all have questions for me.
All right, thank you. One on it, Chief Allen.
Good afternoon. We did have 2 of them from the Henderson County Fire Academy go on and take their test, get fully certified through that process there, so we get definitely kudos to them. We do have 2 more support certified personnel as well over the last month, and we're still actively pursuing some other certifications. So. But unless y'all have any questions, I don't have anything else.
Thank you. All right, item 17 will be closed session. The board will convene in closed session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074. No action shall be taken while the board is in closed session. Any final action, final decision, or final vote shall be taken after the board reconvenes in open session. And we are in closed session at 7:28. Ask everyone to clear the room, please.
This meeting is being recorded.
Don't you?
Nope. Wife's taking care of them.
She does, does she put a?
Wait till Mac gets back.
She have a release of all that she puts on when she does mine.
I just go out in the backyard and
Oh,
it's
they're
completely,
fenced,
it's
okay.
completely
Yeah, okay.
fenced, yeah, so,
Take care of them.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Johnny, I will say that I'm disappointed that we didn't get this meeting done in 3 minutes last night.
I'm sorry. I tried. Mhm. As soon as Mac gets back, we'll call it back to order. Mhm.
Get back a catheter.
Yeah, you know, leg bag. There you go. All right, you ready? Okay, you ready, Brent? Okay, I call open session back to order at 8:46, and there's nothing to vote on or discuss from closed session. And 19 is remarks by presiding officer and/or board members, updates, items to be placed on future agendas, and future meeting dates and times. Brent, you have anything?
No, sir.
Joel?
No.
Mac?
Thank everybody for the service.
Scotty, you have anything?
I do not.
Okay. I'm like Mac, appreciate all your efforts and everything everybody does, both sides of the fence. And we do need to look at a meeting date for November for the holidays, if we want to do it earlier or
When we looked at the calendar, it seemed to work out fine.
work out fine?
Yeah.
Okay. All
Both
right.
November and
In December. Okay, that's fine then. We won't worry about that. Yeah. Yeah, it's Monday after Thanksgiving, isn't it? The meeting? Yeah, that'll work. Okay, that'll be fine. All right.
December 22nd,
Mhm.
which is right before, which should.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. All right, with that being said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So many.
Okay, we are adjourned at 8:47.